So now we're going to look at how to graph a square root of functions by using table of values. Then later, we will describe the transformation from the parent function and describe the key features such as domain and range. So for the first one, for the table of values, let's have our x values here, and then, okay, so for the parent function, the parent function is equal to y is equal to square root of x, right? So earlier I mentioned that if you're going to write down possible values of x, it starts at 0 because the domain is x is greater than or equal to 0, correct? So, and then for the numbers that are greater than 0, try to pick those that are perfect squares, like 1 and 4, and you can add more depending on how many you prefer. So the square root of 0 is 0, the square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 4 is 2. So that's for the original square root of x. But the negative 6, it's a vertical transformation, right? It's actually a vertical translation 6 down. So since it's vertical, it has to affect the y values, and these are our original y values. So that means we're going to subtract 6 from our y values. So this will be our square root of x take away 6. So subtract 6 from each of these. So 0 minus 6 is negative 6, 1 minus 6 is negative 5, and 2 minus 6 is negative 4. So those will be the new y values. So let's make a graph here. I don't know if this will fit. Let me see, I have to, well, definitely doesn't hit my axis. It's too hard to use this tablet and graph in that small, interval, but we'll see. Let's use another tool. There we go. So let's graph y is equal to square root of x and then take away 6. So let's see where our values were. So when x is 0, you have here y is 0, right? Now what was the other ordered pair? You have, so 0, negative 6, 1, negative 5, and 4, negative 4. Okay. So you have here, this is x is 0, and then y is negative 6. When x is 1, so this is when x is equal to 1. Okay, it was negative 5. So this is negative 5 right here. There we go. And then when x is 4, it became negative 4. So that's negative 4 right there. Okay, so if you connect those 3 dots, then we know definitely that they will be lying on this curve over here, right? Now, since we have another perfect square here, which is 9, okay, let's see. Going back here, if you get square root of 9, square root of 9 is 3, right? And then you take away 6. So 3 minus 6, you will get negative 3. Does that make sense? So this, the y value here, it's actually negative 3. There we go. So I know that we know that the graph was drawn correctly. Okay, so going back here, we know that the domain was x is greater than or equal to 0. And then if you go back to our graph, the range starts from where? So this is, the lowest point here is negative 6, and then it went upward. So that means our range will be y is greater than or equal to negative 6. Okay, let's look at another one. Alright. So remember when I mentioned earlier that if you have multiple transformations in one equation or function, you still have to follow the rule of operations, the PEMDAS or the GEMDAS. So let's start with our usual x values, 0, 1, 4. So for the transformations, since I'm going to follow the order of operations, I'm going to start inside the radical sign, which is plus 4. So if it's inside, remember it's a horizontal translation. And we go to the opposite direction, right? It's going to be 4 to the left. So that means we will have a new column for our new x values. So this will be our new x. So since it's 4 to the left, you have to subtract 4 from each of these. So 0 take away 4 is negative 4. 1 take away 4 is negative 3. And then 4 take away 4 is 0. Okay. So now let's do our y values. For the y values, so before transformation, we know that the corresponding y values for our original, okay, x, and this is your original y, were 0, 1, and 2, respectively. So now we're going to apply the transformations. Which one do I use first? The negative 1/2 or the positive 1? So remember, by rule of operations, if this is your original y value, this is multiplied to it. So multiply has to go first before addition. So that means, let's do the negative 1/2 here. Okay, so that's going to be vertical shrink, because it's smaller than 1, right? So vertical shrink by a factor of 1/2, and at the same time it's going to reflect. It's multiplied to the whole function, not under the radical sign, so it's going to reflect in the x-axis. So that means our original y will be multiplied by negative 1/2. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to do the negative 1/2 y over here. Okay, so this is negative. So 0 multiplied by negative 1/2 is 0. 1 multiplied by negative 1/2 is negative 1/2. And then 2 multiplied by negative 1/2 is negative 1. Okay, now we have a positive 1 over here. So the plus 1, that's a vertical translation. Where? So it's going to be 1 up. So that means after we multiply by 1/2, we're going to add 1. Okay, I run out of space. Let me take these away now. So now we're going to add 1 after multiplying by 1/2. So 1/2 y plus 1. So now let's add 1 to all of these. 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 1/2 plus 1 will be 1/2. And then negative 1 plus 1 is 0. Okay, so which ones are we going to follow now for the graph? We're going to follow our new x column and the latest y column that we made. So now let's plot the points that we got earlier. When x is negative 4, the corresponding y value is 1. So that's negative 4, 1. When x is negative 3, go to half. Okay, so that's half. And then when x is 0, your y is 0. Okay, so now you may be wondering, how do I know that the graph will go below the x-axis or above the x-axis? So let's try to find another, value for x that we can plug in to our function. So remember, you want the radicand to be a perfect square, right? So what number, when you substitute for x, will make this expression a perfect square? 5, right? Because 5 plus 4 is 9. Okay, I'm not saying you cannot use the numbers 1, 2, 3. Definitely, I mean, you can use that. However, if, you want to get an exact number, you have to find, that value that will make the radical and perfect square. So I'm going to use 5. Okay, so when x is 5, 5 plus 4, so let me plug it in. So if I plug in 5, you have negative 1/2 radical 9. Well, the process I'm doing now, you could do it in your head as well. I mean, I'm just showing so you don't get lost. So radical 9 or square root of 9 is 3. Now you multiply 3 by negative half, and you will get negative 1.5. This is 3 over 2, right? Plus 1. So negative 1.5 plus 1 will become negative 0.5. So in other words, when x is 5, so this is 5, then your y value is negative 0.5. So you know that the curve will, it will continue to decrease when you continue the curve to the right hand side. Alright, so those are examples on how to graph square root functions.